treat or cure any disease.
Welcome to Hail Varsity Radio, the voice of Husker Nation. Insight, opinion, expertise, with the biggest and best names talking Nebraska across the state. The show on Twitter at Hail Varsity and at Schmidt_radio. Call in at 402-466-ESPN or 1-800-825-5865. Here's Chris Schmidt.
Welcome to it. Great to be with you on a Monday. It's Hail Varsity Radio, presented by Currency. For all your equipment financing needs, go Currency. Schmidt and Elijah Herbel. What a sprint to the finish for Nebraska football, for Coach Rule, for this recruiting cycle, this early signing period in 2023. We'll lay out how the weekend went. It's been a pretty glorious weekend of sports in general. A lot of football in the NFL and some names that said, yes, I want to be a Husker, portal or high school. Numbers to get in can dial us up, 466-3776, 466-3776, 800-855-5865. Can watch the show, follow along on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook. The YouTube channel with Hail Varsity, great, subscribe there. Do that and get all the post-game and press conferences and all that good stuff. The Twitter handle for Hail Varsity Radio, at HVarsity Radio. You hear us, Hail Varsity Radio in the afternoons. You check out Coffee and Cream. They stream there as well, so check their show and watch them, Andrew and DB, of course. And then ESPN Lincoln's Twitter, at ESPN Lincoln, and then Facebook, pretty much a Facebook Live. Can chat, hang out, chime in on StreamYard with ESPN Lincoln Facebook. Have I hit it all?
I believe so.
Right? You good? You need a cough drop?
I think I'm fine. Why you ask that?
No, I'm just saying, dude. I mean, it's that time of year where everyone's snotting and hacking, and there's not enough rum in the eggnog. I mean, it's all good. I'm just checking in.
Oh no, I'm good. I was sick about 2 weeks ago, and I thought I was coming out of it, and then I started feeling. I shouldn't say sick again this weekend, but I realized, it's not over just yet. But I'm feeling as well as I can.
You still smoked pulled pork and had some libations yesterday.
Oh, not pulled pork. This was prime rib, baby.
Oh, you did prime rib yesterday.
This was prime rib,
Look at
baby.
you.
I made like a little, would have been a red wine reduction gravy of sorts over the top. And then
that sounds fancy.
Oh, it was delicious. Then my roommate makes the best mashed potatoes you've ever had. And altogether, it was a great day of World Cup soccer and NFL and some of the craziest finishes I've ever seen, not only in the World Cup game, but also in football with the Patriots and the Raiders. It was a lovely weekend, but I'm ready to hit it again on a Monday because, you know what else we had yesterday, Schmidty? Just plenty of recruiting news.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to start. Brady Oltmans with us here in about 15 minutes. Does just an incredible job. So blessed to have the talent we have at Hail Varsity Magazine, hailvarsity.com. We've had a lot of Brady recently, and that's a great thing because there's more with all of the verbals that have gone down. And then you see the scroll if you're watching the show, hailvarsity.com/subscribe. Still time and room for you to jump on board, get a subscription, the magazine, the digital, and Brady's story on what type of recruiter you're going to get in Matt Rule. You're seeing it now, but he lays out how it happened down in Waco in some adverse circumstances. Art Briles was winning. Art Briles was a Texan. He's a high school coach that climbed his way up to be a head coach at Baylor. Art Briles recruited RG3. Okay, I mean, they were rolling. And then their off-the-field behavior was not cool, putting it mildly, and Art was gone. So you get a, air quote, outsider into the state of Texas. And what a story by Brady on how those connections were made. And that's great news moving forward for Nebraska football with what they want to do in Texas, and it started today with a commitment out of Manor, Texas. Princeville Umanilin. I nailed that. Thank God. Yeah. I would have bet $100 that I screwed that up. I didn't. Princeville is an edge, is 6'4", is 215, is a 4-star, but above all, he's a guy that Matt Rule saw and liked and wanted, and this is what you got. You got a dude off the edge here for 2023 that has 47 tackles for loss and 21 sacks the last 2 years. That screams production off the edge. No, I'm getting choked up.
Bless you, Schmidty.
Oh, that's
this recruiting talk has been beautiful.
That's not intentional, I promise you. As far as the mood and the way it grabs you in recruiting, I have a tickle. Forgive me. You can scream at me about getting cough drops. Sorry, I've got coffee. I've got water. We'll work through it. But he's a top 300 recruit first and foremost. Okay, in the country, top 40 recruit in Texas. And what Rule's going to do is try and build on his frame, right? If you're going to live getting after the quarterback and setting the edge in the Big Ten, you need some more weight on 6'4" and 215. But right now he's so quick and fast. He's a man among boys. That's what he's doing. Not his fault. He's just cleaning up. So that's a big get for Nebraska to get Princewell, Umanilin, and you get your edge guy, and you don't got to throw him in right away. And he's really going to be, if things don't hold, if Malachi Coleman goes to Boulder, and we don't know what Malachi is going to do, he could still come to Lincoln. But right now, from a ranking standpoint, this will be your highest ranked. But it really, and I think we've learned this over the last few weeks, Elijah, it's really not about ranking. It's about fit and feel and trust. And the thing that really has kind of shown up on social media with the Princewell commitment is the fact that Rule went into his family's restaurant and had authentic cuisine.
Oh yeah, the old
Nigerian
the old
food.
Pounded yam and what was the soup?
I don't know, but it looked pretty good.
A goosey.
Yes,
a goosey. Pounded yam and a goosey. I have not. I want to try it now.
Yeah, we should do that.
Well, I should note though, as I've been sitting here watching some Princewell's film of today, and the best comp I have for this guy, and I'd like to add, I think it does fit a lot more with what Coach White did at Syracuse. That fact that you're going to have a defensive lineman, likes to stunt, has that good speed to power mix, that he's not faster than he is strong. He's not stronger than he is fast. He's a pretty good mix between the two. Really reminds me of a guy like Caleb Tanner. And I think that with Princewell, his frame, he's a little bit taller than Caleb Tanner, might allow him to fill out just a little bit more. I think he's an inch taller. But I do think he's going to fill out just a little bit more than Caleb Tanner. And you're probably going to put him hand in the dirt. It does seem like a fit there with what Coach White wants to do with his defense. But that's what I see. It's a guy that really from high school film looks a lot like what Caleb Tanner looked like coming out of high school. And we're going to see how this new coaching staff wants to mold him, because as I said, I think with what this defensive line should look like, if it's a true 3-3-5, this is a guy that fits really perfectly in that end spot, that's able to shift and move and slant and stunt and be really athletic from that outside spot while still having a good power that, you're not going to get washed down the line of scrimmage by Big Ten offensive linemen, whether it be Michigan or Ohio State or Wisconsin. It seems like a good mix of the two, and I'm curious to see how the staff wants to develop them.
Well, and you've seen guys that are lean and athletic, and you've seen different body types win in the Big Ten. And I'm not saying he's Ojabo, but he's kind of that quick twitch outside edge option like Ojabo versus kind of more your anchor end. And I think big things could happen, but that's a great pickup in the Lone Star State. You have Jason Machachek out of South Dakota, Pierce, South Dakota. He's in the boat for Nebraska. Offensive lineman, interior guy, got an offer last week.
Could possibly be a defensive lineman too.
Yeah.
But with the beautiful hair, he looks like an offensive lineman to me.
Either way, he's on the interior. He's 6'4", he's 320. He's explosive, has done discus and shot and can squat pretty well. And Nebraska didn't get him in because of the winter storm hilarity that ensued for much of the Midwest. So they got on a Zoom call and liked him, and they got a kid that was headed to North Dakota to come back this way. That's a kid that had been at Nebraska's camp, that kid that Raiola liked. and there wasn't room at the time. There's room now. And kudos to Coach Raiola in Nebraska sticking on. So those are two new names from the high school ranks for 2023. You have Jeff Sims at quarterback from Georgia Tech. I know he had visited. I know that was a weekend ago. And you're just wondering, okay, this guy's got a ton of experience, Elijah. What's going to happen at quarterback? And good for Nebraska landing Sims because of his experience. 23 starts. Looking at his numbers, he starts. I know that from a turnover standpoint, you want some better numbers with interception to touchdown ratio. I will say this with Sims, in 3 years, the guy has been sacked 51 times. So he's not a total run first, but he's enough of a dual threat to carry the ball 11, 12 times. And that's what you're going to see Nebraska's offense move towards. They're going to get the athletic quarterback that is good enough to throw it, not quite pass first, but I think the development can happen, you'd hope, where they're dangerous enough and they can make some throws when need be. But if it gets a little hairy, they can tuck and run. Those are big. Those are important things to have when you have a guy that can just go make a play with his feet. You got a guy like Harburg that's here. You wonder about what Nebraska will have retention-wise at quarterback, but Nebraska's going after guys that are experienced. And the one thing I will say about Sims is since his first year, the COVID year in 2020, his completion percentage has been at least able to go up. That arrow is upward, 60% in 2021 and then 58% last year. He missed about 5 games, though, with a bad foot, so he got dinged. You just got, if you're going to run your quarterback in the Big Ten, and that's okay, I'm good with it, you need a backup and you need a number 3 that is going to get you some wins or at least be able to manage, because you saw Nebraska get into a situation this year where they were down to a third-team quarterback that didn't have as much experience as they would have liked.
And this was the pickup of the weekend that I think, I don't want to say confused me the most, and maybe I'm just out of loop, but it caught me the most off guard. I wasn't expecting this one. Hornsby was the guy we were talking about last week.
I think you can still get Hornsby.
I think you can still get Hornsby, but then that sets off warning bells with, okay, what's going on with Casey Thompson? Because Sims is not a guy that strikes me as the type who wants to come in and compete for a backup role. And if you're still in on Hornsby, that would seem to be your quarterback competition next year. But would those guys want to come here and compete against a guy that is the sitting starter in Casey Thompson?
Hornsby's got a red shirt year. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he can do that. If you're Sims, yeah, can you go beat out Casey Thompson? He's got 20 starts plus under his belt as well. Mm-hmm. And the commonality in both is they've both been injured, right? So, hey, Casey, you can stick and stay, and we'll see you this spring or summer with your shoulder, right? Because him and Logan both have got to recover. And you need a quarterback to come in and be ready to go. So I'm all right with it. I'm good with it. And you know what? Hopefully Nebraska can land Hornsby as well. And you've got Sims, which is fine. And maybe you still get Casey. That's okay. You can email the show, chris@hailvarsity.com. Dion chimes in and is saying, chill, Elijah. They can get Hornsby too. Yeah, I know they can. Nebraska can have a full quarterback room.
Well, and then you can add Raiola to it too. Why not?
And that's where we'll finish off here the recruiting roundup. Dylan Raiola. I was texting back and forth with Brady, who's coming up, Brady Oltmans from HailVarsity.com and magazine. He's like, do you want to hear my conspiracy theory? And I'm like, well, no, I think there's no conspiracy. I think Ohio State flat out pissed off Raiola.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. I don't want to hear about the Buckeyes being, I've been blindsided. No, dude, you don't tell a kid that you're not taking a 2023. They took the kid out of South Dakota, Pierre, mm-hmm. South Dakota.
Lincoln Keinholz.
Yes, thank you for Gesundheit. Okay, thank you for that. You don't tell him you're not taking a quarterback and then go take the 2023 kid. And Keinholz may be awesome. If you're Ohio State, you've not really missed on quarterbacks forever. You've been really good. Nebraska, however, has had a problem with quarterbacks, hitting on a quarterback. They've hit on a couple, and then they've been okay in the portal.
Well, it's funny you mentioned, though, Ohio State. I want to get back to that real quick because the report was coming out that Ohio State coaches felt blindsided and that the commitment fell apart within a week. And I go, what happened in that week? You picked up a quarterback from 2023, and there's rumors out there that's not what it is. This is
totally
what
it is.
It's totally what it is.
You got lied to.
Yes.
You got lied to.
I don't believe in coincidences in recruiting.
I totally believe this. To get his commitment when you did, like you did, and he'd visited Columbus, he still, listen, I know there's family, and I know there's an uncle on staff. I know all of this. I also know that Georgia's going for another national championship, and I know USC's cranked out, or Lincoln Riley's cranked out 3 Heisman winners in the last 6 years. Okay? So that's your competition. Championships, Heismans, or blood. Okay? Those are 3 solid doors to pick from, but one is not like the other two in a good way. All right, Brady Oltmans going to check in with us. Hail Varsity continues on a Monday, presented by Currency.
If you're not already a Hail Varsity subscriber, what are you waiting for? Sign up for a Hail Varsity subscription to receive exclusive breaking news coverage of Nebraska football, volleyball, and more. Subscriptions include 10 print issues of the Hail Varsity magazine per year, the annual Hail Varsity football yearbook, plus complete access to everything on hailvarsity.com. Visit hailvarsity.com to sign up today and get your first month free.
The next generation of ED wave therapy is now at Limitless Male. Limitless pulse-focused wave therapy has clinically proven results for men wanting to improve their relationships. ED can be caused by age, heart disease, diabetes, or medication, and it won't get better on its own. Our new non-surgical wave therapy can help stop and potentially reverse damage. Take the ED quiz at limitlessmale.com. Get help from the men's health experts.
Ah, yes, Christmas time. Sleigh bells are ringing. Me, Cornelius, and the other nutcrackers are set up firmly on the mantle. And all over Lincoln, folks are saving a stocking full of cash on car wash memberships and bundle packs from Jet Splash Car Wash.
Is that right?
Yes, Cornelius. You could save up to $20 on 3-month memberships, $50 on 6 months, and $120 on annual memberships.
Wow.
By Cornelius, it is jaw-dropping. Shop online at jetsplash.com.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom with People's City Mission. We're Lincoln's homeless shelter, and this winter, the mission expects to feed over 80% of the city's homeless. Because when the weather gets cold out there, here's where people come to. But in this current economy, providing them with a warm bed and a hot meal, it's getting a lot harder to do. And we really need your help. So I'm asking you to please remember the homeless during this holiday season. Your support will really make a difference. Thanks so much, and God bless you.
Live free for a year. Being a bit short on cash this upcoming year won't be a problem when ESPN Lincoln pays your rent or mortgage for all of 2023. Imagine what you'd do with all that extra money. To win, sign up daily at ESPNLincoln.com. Live free in 2023. Powered by Liberty First Credit Union and ESPN Lincoln.
This low-acid food series is brought to you by Prilosec OTC.
I'm Carla Hall. Heartburn affects many of us. Here are some tips to ease the pain. Cut back on carbonated beverages. Try ginger tea, which has anti-inflammatory properties. Also, don't eat late at night and then immediately lay down for bed. Try letting your body digest food for at least 2 to 3 hours first.
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. Use as directed.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Big thanks for hanging out. Monday edition, Hail Varsity, presented by Currency. We're streaming live the Hail Varsity YouTube channel, and Brady Oltmans is going to send us an invoice, which is quite fine. He is back with us. He's in his recruiting/writing Dare I say, Cave, is it Dan? Where do you go find your voice? Or is it just the side room?
Oh no, it's a little spot I got carved out to the bedroom here. But if I really need space, I'll walk on over to Scooters down the block.
There you go. Notice he said Scooters, not poor.
Well, Brady, can you believe 3 consecutive shows you're now talking with us? And it's that time of the year with the recruiting, but like, how tired of us are you by now?
He's going to lie and say he's happy.
Well, it was like 25 minutes on Saturday, another 12 plus 6 on Friday.
We still got 35 minutes here. Oops, he's going to have computer issues. Let's dive into the weekend that's been, Brady. And you got Raiola decommitting from Ohio State. You got Jeff Sims from Georgia Tech that's headed to Lincoln. And then you got a big-time commits today. Maciejczak, the offensive lineman from South Dakota. He's still waiting on Fields. We haven't heard or seen anything yet on Fields. Elijah's got that alert going. And then, of course, you rock and roll and get you Manolin out of Manor, Texas. I mean, Nebraska's just been on fire, Brady, and reaction to some of these names. I know we talked Saturday morning about some of the commits Nebraska had already got. They weren't done yet.
No, I think it's a testament to this coaching staff's aggression when it comes to attacking recruiting. Every recruit I've talked to about their approach and their visits have been just high energy. They've really felt the love, and they felt like they come into Nebraska and it's fast. They're moving. I mean, they're really going for it. I think that's a testament to the coaching staff. It's an infectious personality, and they do it not only with, kids on visits, but they attack the recruiting trail like that. I mean, and Matt Rule is known for not really caring if a kid is committed or not. He's going to put his best pitch out there, and if it trumps the other school that kid's committed to, so be it,
Brady, do you think Nebraska's at a recruiting disadvantage because they don't have any Lamborghinis and Maseratis and Gucci bags to take photos with?
Well, I know I tweeted something about that, and it's just really funny to me. It's what makes college football really unique and special to me. I mean, some of those pictures looked hard. I mean, those, I thought they looked pretty cool, but it's not a good look for the university itself if your AD is having to say, well, we don't have the money yet to pay the coach, but then that's the look that comes out on the visits. But hey, use what you can. If they're not getting the mountains involved, why not throw Lambos out there? You
know what? If I'm going to Boulder on a recruiting trip and it's Manor, Texas, not Manor. Thank you so much, Karen, for that. Appreciate the correction. I mean that. I want a picture with Ralphie.
Yeah.
I got to get a picture with Ralphie.
Get the Lamborghini and then get like
Ralphie?
a big old picture of Ralphie. Put it right on the hood, Ricky Bobby style.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to see what Ralphie do to the Lamborghini. Let's spend a minute here. What do you foresee here with the Nebraska quarterback situation? Let's go to Sims.
This coaching staff I think they're playing a precautionary role, but also not a long-term project. Casey Thompson hasn't announced his intentions with next season, but he's got 1 year of eligibility left. Basically, he did graduate, so he might be eligible for another master's program right away if he were to transfer out. But he does also have to undergo shoulder surgery, and the Nebraska offense, while under a 1 year offensive system with Mark Whipple, just looks stagnant without him. So I think that the coaching staff said, we want to get a guy that can play, right away, or can step in and close the gap between 1 and 2, basically. And then that's what you get when you go to the portal and look at these guys. Sims offers you a little bit more of a mobility. I think Casey has the ability to run, but is a little bit more reluctant runner. And Sims is more willing to tuck and run and throw, but is also capable of sending, some pretty good throws beyond 25, 30 yards.
Well, when you look at the commitment of Sims and the continued recruitment of Hornsby, what do you think that means for Nebraska's current quarterback room? Not just for Casey Thompson, but the guys like Purdy and Smothers, who, they've been biding their time waiting, and now new coaching staff coming in. Seems like they're bringing in new guys to either be backups or coming to compete for the starting role. What do you think it means for that quarterback room as a whole?
Well, they lost some guys, like Matt Masker lost out on his eligibility. So just by attrition and graduation, that quarterback room shrinks a little bit. I feel bad for Logan and Chuba, just the situation that they're put in, but also if you look at the past 6-7 years of Nebraska quarterbacks and what they've recruited, there hasn't really been a set formula for them. I mean, it was kind of like get the best, athlete out there and see what happens. Obviously, Adrian did the best that he could when he was a quarterback. And then we saw them get Casey in with a completely different offensive system under Mark Whipple. But Casey didn't really, his abilities didn't fit the archetype that you would put in a Mark Whipple system. There just really didn't seem like a whole lot of rhyme or reason to the way that Nebraska had recruited the quarterback position based upon its system in recent years. I think that there's a more cohesive vision for that under Satterfield and with Matt Rule, but it does kind of leave Chuba and Logan kind of out in the dark, wondering what they can do. But those are two good athletes, could be good quarterbacks, and maybe they'll find a way to make it work.
Do you think that with the guys Nebraska's going after in the portal, that Satterfield is trying to keep his offense similar to the way he ran it with Rattler last season? Or do you think it's going to be a completely different offense as it moves to the Big Ten? Just your feel based on what these quarterbacks look like, how they play.
I think it's going to be similar, some shades of what he was able to do with Rattler in South Carolina. But I do think that the way that they're attacking it and the way that Matt Rule leans, I think they're focusing on more of they want that capability, but they're going to focus more on the run, or they're going to implement more straight running tactics than they did over at South Carolina, simply by nature, because it's a different beast here.
Brady Oltmans with us, hailvarsity.com and magazine. We mentioned the new get to Madeline, off the edge, high-level recruit out of Manor, Texas. This goes to the heart, Brady, of your feature story in the newest issue of Hail Varsity magazine, also hailvarsity.com. And I want to go there. We'll circle back next segment with the rest of the recruiting outlook and get into Royola a bit. But I want to, this goes back to what you focused in on with your research in on Coach Rule, kind of set up your feature for our listeners and how it kind of showed and paid off for a really good edge out of Texas this weekend.
Well, Matt Rule, he's a Northeast guy. His family traveled around a lot, but most of his time was spent in New York and Pennsylvania. And when he got the Waco job and the job head coach at Baylor, he didn't really have that many ties. And he went into a place where, Texas high school football coaches, Friday Night Lights exist for a reason. And it wasn't just at Permian and Odessa. You know what I mean? Like,
and what was Bud's? Is it Kilmer? Bud Kilmer from Varsity Blues.
Yeah. Like it's a real thing. And when I talked to some coaches down there, and even the executive director of the Texas High School Coaches Association, he said, "We are who we are, and we're proud of who we are." And obviously, when Art Briles left, he left for some valid reasons, but when Baylor got rid of him, they also got rid of a longtime Texas high school football coach who led a proud Texas program. And when they brought in Matt Rule, this guy from Temple in Philly, they weren't too, open arms and welcoming to him. But Matt Rule basically got his staff put together one day within the first 10 days of his tenure there, and then extended the olive branch and said, "Hey, come on in." They've had 6 or 7, people from the Texas High School Coaches Association come into Waco for a 6-hour lunch. And basically Matt Rule laid out his plan, his idea, and said, "I need Texas guys. Help me get Texas guys." And they offered him 3 names. He hired those 3 names, and they were sold on the honesty that Matt Rule pitched them. And to this day, those guys are fans of Matt Rule for it.
He legitimately flipped the state. People that have covered Rule on a national level marvel at what he did at Texas. Brady, you went to Joe Martin, head of the Texas Coaches Association. They still swear by the guy.
Yeah, there are so many fun stories that Joe kind of talked about when I was on the phone with him. And I think one is his honesty. And he gives that to coaches. He gives that to recruits. Matt Rule is just going to be an honest, open, transparent guy. And he will make sure that he does everything he can to deliver upon what he says. But also, like Joe's he's a member of 4 different halls of fame for, Texas high school football.
Just 4?
just 4, so he's an accomplished guy. He's been in college coaches' rooms many a times, but he told me the one thing that will stand out about Matt Rule's office in Baylor is he walked in and the first thing he saw was a 3x5 picture of the Rule family and not trophies or anything, sitting up there. And he said that spoke volumes in a place in Texas high school football and Texas college football that means so much. This guy did not rest upon his accolades or laurels. He had his family there, and that stood out among everything else. And I think it speaks to who Matt Rule is, how he prioritizes people, and partially why people like to be around him.
Brady Oltmans is with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. And Brady, before we get you out, some names to watch over the next couple of days in terms of the recruiting cycle. Everyone knows Malachi Coleman, Benny Nagoy, but just give us some of the names that you're looking at in the next couple of days you think might be likely.
Well, those are the 2 that stand out immediately. We do have some late breaking news, I guess, with Kyron Jones announcing he's decommitting from NC State. He took his official visit to Lincoln this last weekend. So he's a Charlotte Christian standout running back who is very fast. No word on his commitment as of right now. I haven't seen anything, but just of like the last 30-20 minutes, he announced that he was reopening his commitment. So that's a big one. More testaments of Matt Rule's. He's not going to stop recruiting guys until, ink is splattered on the page and it's somebody else's school at the top of it.
Brady, I'm going to have you hang on. I want 2 more minutes on the other side about Dylan Raiola.
And I need to take on Cornelius as well. Nebraska in the top 4, decision looming Wednesday.
Yeah, that's Wednesday. Benny's decision is Wednesday. Nebraska's gaining, and also they've lost some guys that were on their radar as well. So it's not all been Tony Gwynn today, 5 for 5, but they've been great. They've done a great job. Do really invite you to subscribe this holiday season and beyond with Hail Varsity Magazine, hailvarsity.com/subscribe. GBR is the code to save some money. Great feature by Brady in the latest issue on Matt Rule and creating that Texas tie. More with Brady Oltmans on the way with Hail Varsity, presented by Currency. The votes are in, and now we know who's best of Lincoln. See for yourself at ESPNLincoln.com. Whatever you're looking for, Lincoln's best winery, best fitness center, best coffee shop, or best sports bar. We've got the winners in over 70 categories. Before you shop, eat, or call for service, check out the full list at ESPNLincoln.com. Who's the best car wash, the best appetizers, the best sandwich shop? Don't guess. Find out who's best at ESPNLincoln.com with the best of Lincoln.
'Twas the night before approval, and I heard all through the city. I want a nicer, newer car, but my credit, oh, what a pity. I wanted a truck, mama, an SUV, but maybe a car'd be more practical. We'll see. There arose such a noise on my radio. I knew right then I had to go see Approved by Joe. He asked, have you been turned down before? Still making payments on that old sled? Worried about getting Scrooged? Come here instead. With very quick work and very little pain, I heard Approved by Joe call them by name. On Chris, on Josh, on Sam, Don, and Lorenzo, on Andrea, on Kendall. Let's get these customers handled. When what to my wondering eyes did appear? With $5 down, a credit approval, my dear. Joe wants your trade, he'll pay more than anyone. And his team won't quit until they get your deal done. With our For the People credit approval process, bring us $5, bring us your trade, we'll take out the stress. I heard him exclaim as I had the store in sight. Happy approvals to all, and to all a nicer, newer ride. I'm Joe Clemens, and I'm your dealer for the people. Come see us at Capital City Automax or online at approvedbyjoe.com, approvedbyjoe.com, www.approvedbyjoe.com.
All terms subject to approval, some minimum requirements. Ho, ho, ho.
Dell's Days of Deals start now with fresh limited quantity deals each day on tech to power every passion. Save on select XPS laptops and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Just call 877-ASK-DELL for Days of Deals savings. That's 877-ASK-DELL, 877-ASK-DELL.
Peacock presents the new original limited series, The Best Man, the final chapters, from the creator of The Best Man and The Best Man Holiday and executive producer of Insecure. The series reunites the original cast to wrap up all the unfinished business, with new loves, career highs, parenthood, grief, and everything in between. The series explores what threatens to tear us down and what ultimately keeps us together. Coming this week, stream The Best Man, the final chapters, only on Peacock.
Attention skilled trades professionals, industrial mechanics, plumbers, steam fitters, and electricians. Continental Conitech in Lincoln is paying $32.76 an hour to start. And with certification, you could earn up to another $4 an hour and an extra $1 an hour for shift differential, plus a $3,000 hiring bonus, increased 401k contribution with great benefits and vacation time. If you've got trade skills, put your future in. Apply today at continental-jobs, keyword Lincoln.
Chime in 402-466-ESPN or email the show, Chris@HailVarsity.com.
Just try me.
Back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you 25 minutes away, Mr. Blackshirt. Charlie McBride, a Monday with Charlie. Brady Oltmans continues on. Got a text and a taunt from one pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman. Apparently he thinks I've got the Michael Corleone hair today going. Been laughing about that during break.
It's slicked back. It looks like you use a lot of product in there today.
Does it look like too much product, Bray? Too much product?
No, it's good. Dapper Dan, you know.
I will say the angle in the lighting in the live stream changes how it looks. As I look through the window at Schmidty, like person to person, the hair looks a lot different than
I
it
can
does
start
on
somebody's
screen.
car.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But from like this downward angle, it does look different. So the camera not doing Schmidty any justice. I will let you know.
It's
that right
glorious.
now.
I mean, it's a good hair day. It's fine. No, we'll move on. Recruiting is the topic. Brady Oltmans, HailVarsity.com and magazine. We know that there are some targets and some decision days coming up. And he says, I'm watching reels. No, I'm not watching reels. I'm reading them. What's your take here on Raiola? Okay, I'm gonna get there here. Are you okay? The door is wide open. It's half open, or duh, he's got his uncle coach in here. It's real open.
I think it's wide open in the sense that I take the family at their word that everything is on the table right now, and basically starting out from ground zero. I mean, you basically put a 365-day timer on it. He's going to be committed this time next year. You know, send the starting gun out and then let everybody run to the finish. But he's the top recruit of that recruiting class for a reason. I mean, he's going to be sought after by every single program that there is. Obviously, Nebraska having a family member and having that last name on every historic landmark in Memorial Stadium is probably going to make some sort of impact for him. But there's also going to be a lot of very talented and very well-built programs. They're going to invite him in every single day that he, even if he answers his phone the right way, he's going to see their names pop up as well and want to get a piece of his time. I think part of what we're going to see is what does Matt Rule and his staff do with a full year under their belt, with a full coaching staff, and what they're able to do in terms of long-term vision and build. I think his history recruiting the quarterback position is also very interesting. I know quarterback and linebacker are the two positions he gets the most thorough with when recruiting. He's definitely going to be the kind of hands-on person, or he's not going to offer a quarterback lightly. So I think that's going to be a really fun one to watch and a fun aspect to it. So we'll see. Like I said, there's a lot of schools involved, but Nebraska fans are excited, and good for them. They have a right to be excited, because I don't think Nebraska's on the outside looking in this time.
Well, it sounds like Matt Rule's excited too whenever he posts that Undertaker meme of the Undertaker sitting up and waking back up on Twitter, and like that's 100% him talking about Dylan Raiola, right? There's no other way to interpret that. I mean, his tweets have left some room for interpretation over the past week or so, but that's one that I saw and I immediately went, well, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, I think so. And I think that those little tweets are the emojis and the breadcrumbing that he's been doing and have everybody solving cubes is just, I think there are NCAA bylaws that say that he can't say a whole lot, but those are fun little things that he can do to tease up the fan base and keep energy high, because again, he is a very high energy guy. The coaching staff is very high energy. Kids like that, recruits love that. And that's his way of trying to rally the fan base as well.
Timeline, we know when Malachi Coleman knows. We're big East fans, Coach Gary and his staff, and we've loved covering and watching Malachi form. Any interpretation here? Any read at all? Is it, yeah, he's back in with Nebraska, it's all good, or do you think it's really going to be a coin flip between him and Deion?
Right now, I'd say coin flip, but I think there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of energy between both Nebraska and Colorado, but I think for different reasons. I think that the way that they handled themselves in those coaching transitions are inherently different, maybe two sides of the same coin, but you're either the first to offer an official visit or you're the last. Those, if you're one of those two positions, you are in the best position to land a recruit, historically speaking. Nebraska has, been on Malachi early, and this coaching staff was there in his living room, but Tim Brewster was there in his living room too and got him to Colorado this last weekend. So it's going to be, I don't know. I at this point, I kind of lean towards Nebraska, but it's going to be one of those things where regardless of what his decision is, I won't be surprised by it if it's between those two schools.
What's your read with Cornelius out of Rhode Island? That's a guy that I look at with Nebraska's needs along the offensive line. Kind of seems to me like he should be priority number one, but he's priority number one for a lot of programs across the country too. Nebraska did make the top 4.
Yeah, I'd feel a lot better about Nebraska's chances if he didn't go to Ohio State and Tennessee right after. You know what I mean? He seemed, I believe Tennessee made an impact on him. Nebraska might finish ahead of Ohio State, but I mean, when you got those two programs really slugging it out and offering this kid from, Rhode Island, it's an uphill battle for Nebraska to climb. But you hope that, if you're a Nebraska fan, you hope that initial recruiting visit that he did also enjoy wins out with a little bit of separation between his most recent visits and signing day.
Brady Oltmans with us, HailVarsity.com and magazine at Brady Oltmans. Follow Brady on Twitter for all the recruiting updates and Husker football news. Him and Vogues and Aaron Sorensen, Jacob Padilla. Great crew with Hail Varsity for sure. So what is coming up here, not only in the magazine, but the next few days? I know we'll probably bump into each other at the press conference on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think, initially the big stress is going to be loading up on signing day stuff. Wednesday afternoon, they're going to hold a press conference for early signing day. Matt Rule is going to speak with us for the first time since his introduction, which will be a fun, hey, haven't seen in a while. But after that, it's going to be mostly kind of staffing stuff, recruiting, maybe looking long game, how they're setting themselves up for future success. And then, the magazine and my deep dive on kind of Matt Rule's history and what shaped him in terms of as a person and his philosophy on football will be up pretty soon.
The other Dion asking a question, what's the latest with Ben Scott, the offensive lineman that's in the portal from ASU? About 30 seconds here.
I think he enjoyed his stay and his visit, but he's one of those that has kind of kept his feelings close to the vest on this one. I think he's one of those guys that if Nebraska gets him, they could probably develop him and do a lot, but he's coming from ASU. He's got a lot of looks, especially on the West Coast, and if he wants to stay there, he could have a pretty good home there. So I tend to think of the West Coast guys who have West Coast attention tend to stay there, but Nebraska might be in a good position to land him.
Brady, we'll check in soon, brother. Thanks for the OT today.
No problem, guys.
See you. There he is, Brady Oltmans. He's like, God, don't bother me again till Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to get one show off, and it's right back to Brady on Wednesday.
It's all right.
That's good stuff.
We'll give him a 24-hour
That's
recoup.
4 out of 5 shows with Brady Oltmans.
It's all good.
I was saying, he's got to be tired of us by now.
We're going to send him several pints. We'll wind down this first hour. 15 minutes away, Charlie McBride joins us on Hail Varsity.
Are you ready? The Christmas countdown on at JCPenney. Through Saturday, use your coupon and dash away with very merry savings on last-minute gifts across the store, like fine jewelry stocking stuffers up to 70% off after coupon, and save up to 50% on comfy, stylish outerwear for the whole fam. Add curbside pickup to make your trip extra quick. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items through 12/24. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
I know a lot of you really want the State Farm personal price plan, but what's with the oversharing? Like this message from Sarah.
Hi, Jake from State Farm. I eat hard-boiled eggs, like shell and all. The crunch is exquisite.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm personal price plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Dad, I don't feel good.
I'll grab the Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey.
Isn't DayQuil just for parents?
Actually, Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey is just for kids, specially designed to treat kids' most bothersome cold symptoms quickly with a honeylicious tasting flavor kids like.
You know what else kids like?
DayQuil Kids Honey first, then video games.
Deal.
Vicks DayQuil Kids Honey. The kids' honeylicious daytime coughing, congestion, stuffy head, stuffy nose medicine. Safe for ages 6+.
Why, yes. Another morning and another day of Jet Splash's jaw-dropping holiday sale. Reginald.
Yes?
To Jet Splash we go. Marmaduke, Rutherford.
Yes?
To the car wash. Let us save $10 on a 5-pack of washes or $73 on a 22-pack.
And get the best deals of the year on annual memberships too.
That's right, Frederick. Nutcrackers unite.
Yes.
Very good. Off the mantle and to Jet Splash Car Wash we go.
Shop online too.
I'm weatherology meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your Capital City forecast. A winter weather advisory is in effect for the forecast area. Then a winter storm watch will go into effect here early Thursday morning. A few scattered areas of rain and snow mixing at times this afternoon, cloudy and temperatures holding steady. That's the forecast on Lincoln's ESPN. Currently, it's 20.
Call John Henry's today for a $99 heating system service to make sure your home can handle any weather Mother Nature has to throw at us.
45, 55, 55.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time this hour, Hail Varsity, presented by Currency, your equipment financing needs. Currency. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, give us a follow. Find us on Twitter at Schmidt_radio at Herbal Essence for Elijah Herbel is where you can check him out on Twitter. Charlie McBride in about 15 minutes or so. It's not real bad out right now, at least as we kind of peek out here in Cornhusker Highway country anyway. And
that cold front's moving through tonight, though. That's what's going to be brutal. Is once that high temperature tomorrow is closer to 7 than 32.
Sure. No, it's going to be skates only tomorrow morning, as damp as things are right now.
Oh, well, you and I are together tomorrow morning. I'll throw on the ice skates and we'll get a little tow from the back of your car and I can skate into work.
We'll make it happen. Reminder to buckle up is where I was going.
This is the opposite of what I just suggested.
This is what I'm saying. Buckle up. Using your seatbelt saves lives, prevents injuries. Only if properly worn. Buckle up. A message from the Nebraska Department of Highway Safety Office. Shameless plug. Our Herdad Pals, No Block, No Rock podcast. Mike and the crew are doing a live show tonight, set up at the Nebraska Brewing Company. It's a stage. It is just gorgeous. A lot of red and different lighting to highlight my eyes. I'm kidding.
Your hair.
Or my hair. So I'm headed up there after our show, and it's going to be a live studio audience show with No Block, No Rock going on at the Nebraska Brewing Company. 108th and for sure somewhere. 108th in Omaha.
That'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be up there, man.
Got to figure out, do they have any ping pong tables up there?
It's kind of back where their brewing room is. So
probably not, but it'd be really cool if you could work on your ping pong skills and eventually get like an in-depth story on Matt Rule and his ping pong skills. That'd be, I think.
Man, I will not lie to you. We had a ping pong table and a pool table in the Schmidt household basement.
So you're saying you could take them?
Well, pool, Dad stuck the pool table in a room that was really cool, but a lot of wall scuffs, right? Not quite enough distance. And then one of the family members punched the wall at one point after losing. Wasn't me.
Like put a hole in it?
Didn't quite put a hole, but there's still a knuckle and dent if I were still to go to my childhood home, I promise you, where that pool table was. Then he put the ping pong table on top of the pool table. And yeah, I did all right in ping pong. Not probably as good as Rule or Mrs. Noonan.
See, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering like how competitive these games actually get. Maybe somebody can get some video evidence. Maybe Brady can get an in-depth feature story on Matt Rule's ping pong ability moving forward. But I want to know.
You lose on purpose.
Well, I mean, it seems to be just a big factor on the recruiting trail. I've heard a lot of recruits playing ping pong, or a lot of recruits' parents playing ping pong with Matt Rule, and I'm wondering like what the story is behind that. Why is he so good at ping pong? Why does he play so much ping pong? Is it just like a universal game?
Well, it's real easy, right? It's like Mike's card trick. If I beat you in ping pong, you got to commit.
So, I think Matt Rule should start going, change up the game. Instead of playing ping pong, play Dungeons and Dragons with him. Matt Rule, Dungeon Master.
That's an absolute shutdown. Leave my home now.
It's a great way to get to know somebody.
Uh-huh.
See, you're
this is where the crawl space is.
You're closed-minded, Schmidty.
No, I am
about
not.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I am very, very aware. You still play it?
Occasionally.
Okay. All right.
Whoa. What was that? Moving on, I guess.
Just some judgment. Coach McBride, 10 minutes away at Hail Varsity, presented by Currency.
Are you ready? Lowe's, it pays to be a pro. Now through January 6th, Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards members earn 1 bonus point for every $1 spent on qualifying purchases with the Lowe's Business Credit Account. Redeem bonus points for cool rewards for your business. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Subject to credit approval, Lowe's terms and exclusions. See Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points and Lowe's.com/L/Pro loyalty term for details. U.S. only.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feet, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the hut, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you been naughty or nice this year? Cash don't care. At Jackson Hewitt, you could still get up to $4,500 for the holidays. Some bucks now, more bucks in January. So be naughty. Snap up all the ginger snaps. Wear a pretty sweater to an ugly sweater holiday party. You could still get up to $4,500 when you go to Jackson Hewitt today. Details at jacksonhewitt.com. Eligible clients can get up to $1,000 in December and up to $3,500 in January. Loans by Republic Bank and Trust Company. Finance charge may apply.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. 1 device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
From the John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Studios, this is KLMS Lincoln, the capital city's Husker Authority.
This is SportsCenter.
Here's what's happening. The Eagles might not have quarterback Jalen Hurts on the field against the NFC East rival Cowboys on Saturday. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Hurts has a sprained shoulder. His status uncertain for that matchup. If Gardner Minshew starts in place of Hurts, the 13-1 Eagles will not blink, insists ESPN's Marcus Spears.
And this is a part of why I thought that this team will win the NFC East and be the representative in the Super Bowl as we've seen this season come to hope. Remember, this offensive line is still the best in the game. You talk about skill position players. We've seen Gardner Minshew play really good football. But everybody focuses on this offense, and rightfully so, because we're having a conversation about Jalen Hurts. In the last 3 weeks, I think the Philadelphia Eagles has like 15 to 17 sacks.
Any missed time for Hurts will be about getting strength and functionality in his shoulder back to 100% for the long haul, according to ESPN's Tim McManus. Jets coach Robert Saleh today would not commit to whether quarterback Mike White or Zach Wilson will start Thursday night versus the Jaguars. White was out yesterday with injured ribs. He is still being evaluated by doctors. NBA, no LeBron James for the Lakers tonight against the Suns because of left ankle soreness.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options, an easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Live free for a year. Being a bit short on cash this upcoming year won't be a problem when ESPN Lincoln pays your rent or mortgage for all of 2023. Imagine what you'd do with all that extra money. To win, sign up daily at ESPNLincoln.com. Live free in 2023. Powered by Liberty First Credit Union and ESPN Lincoln.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
The world is always on, but you shouldn't be. Put junk sleep to bed. During Mattress Firm's Dreamcember sale, get a king for the price of a queen or queen for a twin and save up to $700 on Sealy. Only at Mattress Firm.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy.
Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? If your check engine light is on, it may be affecting your MPGs, but the free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help. With the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes, you'll know what's affecting your gas mileage and more, and you don't have to drive too far to find the fix. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service is available at all 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
See details at AutoZone.com.
So I switched to Boost Mobile and got this free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge screen, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
So Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customers only. Excludes tax. One device offer per line. Only available on certain networks. 5G not available everywhere. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, These factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do. Asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome to Hail Varsity Radio, the voice of Husker Nation. Insight, opinion, expertise, with the biggest and best names talking Nebraska across the state. Join the show on Twitter at Hail Varsity and at Schmidt_radio. Call in at 402-466-ESPN or 1-800-825-5865. Here's Chris Schmidt.
Back with you, Tower 2. It's Hail Varsity Radio. We're presented by Currency for all your equipment financing needs. Go Currency. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel. We welcome in Mr. Blackshirt, a Monday with Charlie. Charlie McBride joins us here on Hail Varsity. Coach, how was the weekend? How you doing?
Oh, the weekend was great, and I just want to tell you, don't ever get a shot in your nose.
Oh no, really?
Oh. Well, it's a little uncomfortable.
Tell me someone put a needle in your nose.
When you go to I had a little something they had to get out of there.
Gotcha.
So, but I didn't realize it was that much fun.
So we're going to stop here and reset. You walk in, they sit you down, they say, Coach Charlie, I need you to sit in the chair. Did they walk in with a monster needle, or was it a shorter needle, or was it somewhere in between?
It's the shorter needle, but the one that's later, when they cauterize it, is the one that burns. It's like you can smell your flesh burning.
Oh, no.
That's really the good one.
And you're meanwhile flexing your muscles going, is this all you got? I can picture you in the chair doing that.
Well, all he says is, does that hurt? What do you want me to say? Yeah, sure. Keep doing it.
So you've already been through it. Well, I'm glad you're.
I've been there before, but that's the first time in a long time I've ever got a shot in my nose.
Man, well, I was worried you were getting a nose ring. You were getting a piercing or something.
No.
Oh, that'd be good stuff.
No. Coach, it's got a new nose ring for us.
A diamond-encrusted ring in the nose for Charlie. That seems like a style.
Big old red pen. I like it. Charlie McBride's with us. Coach, this time of year, or at least this setup is familiar to you all those years. I know sign did earlier now, but it still fits the same getting down to signing day. And what do you remember about the close to finish another class?
It's called babysitting. I mean, that's what. You just got to keep on top of it. I mean, keep in touch, and we asked them to do some things that that the coach and would communicate also with as the player does to the high school coach, that he's totally committed and doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's done. He's over. Don't have some guy and say have somebody talking to him. Same thing. The parents didn't accept any phone calls, and it was a little different. Nowadays, it's wide open. It's a lot more things involved with it now. You don't know what a kid's really trying to do. Is he trying to make money, just bounce around the place? I know that Ernest went to Michigan, and I know when they came in, when this thing came in, they gave him a check for $20,000 each player, and that kind of stuff. And so that sounds good and everything. And he made that decision, and apparently I don't know what they're going to do about that. I guess he took I don't know if he did mess with Colorado.
Iowa. He went to Iowa.
Yeah,
Michigan.
Yeah, that's right. So who knows? It's like that's fine. I mean, that's all the more power to them. I mean, my point would be, if I was playing, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times, I mean, even when Scott came back from Stanford, there were guys that were still pretty upset that he had left the state. So, there's some kids around that are in the portal that are pretty good players, but you kind of wonder sometimes where they're really coming from. And you have to really learn as a recruiter. You have to learn, what the problems or why. I think that's important, and I think grade wise, it's an important thing that I just saw a little thing in the internet. I thought it was, I guess, the quarterback said, I'm coming there and I know I'm going to have to prove myself. And, he's not coming in with the idea I'm going to start and all that kind of stuff. So, I think that's when you get into this, it's the junior college players only have 2 years, and it's a little easier to talk to a kid that has 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even a redshirt year on top of it. It's easier to talk to them because they know that they're going to be down the line anyway. I mean, unless, they're just Superman or something. So, but it's a harder thing, I think, right now, because they don't have loyalty to a commitment. We know what it really means. I mean, and I always looked at it as, if you're going to be a man, you have to, if you shake hands with a guy and commit to him, you're committed. Mm-hmm. Now, there's reasons you have to decommit. It's better that you do. Family, all kinds of things that come up, that would cause you to do that. But I think we explained it to them, all felt that way. And we were in a position where we had so many scholarships, and then we went by position, and they knew it. And if we had, if we were going to take 2 tight ends, when we were recruiting 6 of them, we tell them all the first 2 guys that pop are going to get the scholarships, and that's the way it is. And I if that happens, I'll call you and tell you that we can't help you, and that was the way. And they accepted that. Some of them, I mean, it was. Most of them accepted it. I mean, but that pushed them along a little bit, in making their decision and their folks. And, you always have somebody says, well, I don't know, my grandma this or my aunt or my whatever it is. And, there is somebody there. There's a coach, there's an uncle, there's somebody that knows what's going on that's going to work with you.
Charlie McBride's with us, Hail Varsity Radio, a Monday with Charlie, and signing day, early signing day is Wednesday. Coach Rule in Nebraska having a really good weekend. They're picking up more and more commitments, either out of high school to develop or in the portal. Coach Jeff Sims is the quarterback that is coming from Georgia Tech. He's more of a dual threat. He can throw the football, but he's a quick dude that can run. They're also looking at a former Arkansas player that's spent time at wide receiver, but has at least one start at quarterback in Malik Hornsby. So, your take on the Rule offense and kind of going back to the dual threat quarterback, the running quarterback. Do you like that?
Yeah, I do. I think you're even seeing that in the NFL.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, and I think players are starting to see, coaches are starting to, fit them with their offense and put some plays in for them. It's always the problem of getting injured. You're maybe more susceptible, but I think when you do it all the time, you're just like a running back. You can take it, but if you don't get hit all the time and you do get hit, all of a sudden, then you have a tendency it just doesn't seem like your body makes it as good that way. But I think I saw Hornsby a little bit. He may be, if he came, I would say he'd be the fastest guy in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can smoke. I mean, he runs so smooth that, it's crazy. But being able to do both and even take a person like Sims, one of the questions I ask him is if things didn't work out at quarterback, would you be willing to play another position?
Mm-hmm.
And if they say yeah, then you want the guy, and because like you said, if he can play split end and he wants to get on the field, and he's not going to be the starter or be out there, there's no sense in wasting that speed sitting on the bench.
No, use that track speed, and that's where Coach Rule's going is going after fast guys and guys that can get after the quarterback as well.
But Charlie, in your opinion, with athleticism being at the forefront of these two guys, what do you think is more important in a quarterback? Is it that athleticism, that speed, what they can do in a football field, or is it the intangibles, how he leads the offense and whatnot, his preparation before a game? What do you think is more important in a quarterback?
Well, each coach has a different way of doing it. In our case, a little bit. I think if I'm a little bit for Coach Osborne right now, but the way it was that he could run first and pass second.
Mm-hmm.
Some are pass first and run second, and there's a line in there somewhere, that they're a better passer than they are a runner, or they're a better runner than they are a passer. And Coach Osborne said we work with the passer, teach him to throw better, teach him to do that. So that comes out, I think you see, we haven't had a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL since Ferragamo, or something like that. And that's because probably that was the fact. They all were all runners. They had guys that could really throw it. Turner Gill could really throw it. I mean, he's a pro thrower. He got his pro arm, and he got knocked out of Canadian League by concussions, and then went to baseball. But we've had a lot of good throwers. I mean, Bruce Matheson was a backup quarterback for 6 or 7 years. Won at San Diego, and then he was up at Buffalo, and he backed up some Hall of Fame guys. And, but he got a lot of experience, but it was that he could throw the ball out of the stadium. I mean, so, it just, it's what you do. But again, he was measured by his production with the option.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we had a power game. We had an option. We had play action passes. We had, the drop backs, we had screens. We had what a lot of people had. We just were a dominant team. And if you go back and look at how many times we were in the first 2 or 3, a lot of times one rushing in the country. And that was our baby.
Charlie McBride's with us. Coach, we got about 90 seconds, and we are off next week with the season. What do you think of Dion? I mean, what do you think of Dion and the around him, the Lamborghinis, the leather? I mean, you got to be either smiling or shaking your head, being a former Buck, don't you?
I think or you're shaking your head. Some of this, I think, the NCAA is probably going to have to sit down and figure out now, is this legal or? I mean, and you don't know. Kids get caught up in it, and especially kids that are immature. You got somebody that's really serious about college and not worried about his buddies here and I'm going to be with these guys and that. But separate yourself. And do I fit here and do I not fit here, and so on. And what's really the right thing for me to do? And that's what the guys that are mature will do. That guys that aren't, go with a whim. This guy's going to do this for me, and I'm going to make this much money, and I'm going to do this and that. Sometimes that doesn't work.
Charlie McBride's with us on Monday with Charlie. Well, Coach, don't let anyone stick a needle in your nose this week, okay?
I'm gonna stay away from everybody. You know.
Are you gonna get some wings? You gonna put some wings on the smoker?
Yeah, they'll be where I live. There's just Debbie and I, and we will have our own Christmas together and call our kids and talk to them, and that will be our Christmas. We'll have a blast.
Charlie, do you have any Christmas traditions? Any movies you always watch? Anything like that you'll be doing this weekend?
Just football games.
That's a football guy right there.
Coach is like football games and bowl practices, right? That's about it. That's about it. Coach, we love you. You have a Merry Christmas, you and your family, and we'll check in with you in the new year, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas to all of you then. Talk to you later.
See you, Coach.
Okay, bye now.
There he is, Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride. Yeah, I can imagine being like the nurse that walks in with said needle to deaden an area. And he laughs at it. Tough dude.
Yeah, he's a tough son of a gun, isn't he?
He's just like, a needle, huh, for my nose? No, good enough. We'll spend some more time on recruiting. Plenty of NFL this weekend to catch up on 3 crazy finishes. Congrats to Travis Vokalek.
Congrats to the Denver Broncos as well. You can get back to Vokalek. The Broncos got to win.
Yeah.
But bigger congrats to Travis Vokalek.
Yeah, he's off to the NFL. We enjoyed with TV the times this year. Wish him well and all the success. I hope he gets to the combine. I think he's a super talent. Hail Varsity is open.
If you're not already a Hail Varsity subscriber, what are you waiting for? Sign up for a Hail Varsity subscription to receive exclusive breaking news coverage of Nebraska football, volleyball, and more. Subscriptions include 10 print issues of the Hail Varsity magazine per year, the annual Hail Varsity football yearbook, plus complete access to everything on hailvarsity.com. Visit hailvarsity.com to sign up today and get your first month free.
Running on empty? Don't let aging drain your body. Limitless Male can help you recharge safely under medical care. As you age, your body produces less testosterone, which can cause one or more symptoms: trouble sleeping, no energy, loss of muscle mass, poor concentration, belly fat, low sex drive, depression. Limitless Male can eliminate these symptoms with testosterone replacement therapy and re-energize your life. Schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
Ho, 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 it's Schmidty, and time to talk about last-minute gift ideas, Husker fans. It's all about Alumni Hall and how they can help. 2 locations, 1120 P Street, downtown Lincoln, South Point Pavilions in Lincoln. Get that Husker fan taken care of. And if it's 2-minute drill time, if it's late in the 4th quarter for you in your holiday shopping, Alumni Hall is there for you. The ultimate Husker shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Adidas, Champion, Columbia, plus gifts, accessories, and all your tailgating needs. UNL students, faculty, and military always receive 10% off in store, and you earn cash back with Hall Pass rewards. New coach, new gear, new year, and you still have time to get to Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection and the ultimate Husker shopping experience for you. Log on, alumnihall.com.
Need that special tool to complete your next project? Menards has all the necessary tools that are
Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out allergens, mucus, and germs. And it's why cleaning your nose, the body's air filter, is the next evolution in daily personal hygiene. Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Chime in 402-466-ESPN or email the show, Chris@HailVarsity.com.
Just try me. Try me.
Back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity, presented by Currency. Numbers to get in here at 466-3776, 800-825-5865. Open phones want to chime in. How you're feeling about Rule and the Nebraska recruiting push? Who's number one on your board for this year? Who do you like that is out there? I tend to agree with you, Elijah, that the experience you can't put a price on the offensive line. And Nebraska being able to land the kid out of Rhode Island would be a big get. You've got a three-man army, some of the who's who of college football trying to get in and land. It's going to be some moment. Malachi Coleman, Benny Nagoy. Can you land both of these guys? That'll be interesting. I think you're doing quite fine at quarterback. You get Jeff Sims in. Hopefully you land Malik Hornsby. You still have Chubba. You still have Logan. You still have Casey. You still have Harburg.
Richard Torres in there. We had a call in from Bill back in first hour wondering what the hell's going on with Richard Torres. And I had to say, man, I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No, I look at Torres and I look at what he is versus the offense that Rule wants to run with more of a mobile quarterback. Torres, though, it's not like he's just a statue. He's just a big dude.
But I think it's the same story almost as Casey Thompson. It's not the dude's unathletic. It's what does he want to do?
What's he best at? Like Charlie was talking about. Is he a better thrower or a better runner?
And both those guys are guys that put down as better throwers and runners. And that's not to say they're bad athletes. Not to say they can't run the ball. I mean, the only guy in the quarterback room that I think is a better runner than a thrower is Logan Smothers.
Sure.
It's the only guy. And is there a place for him in Matt Rule's system, in Satterfield's system? To be determined, but I would venture to say that the quarterback room as it is right now, even with the addition of Sims, will look different by the start of spring football and will look different by the end of spring football too.
No, you've got to figure out what your offense can do and what can you adapt to doing based on what you have. And if you really like what a quarterback's got and his strength is throwing it versus running it, great. Then do that. But don't limit your offense. You look at some of the best lines in football, right? When we think of really tremendous offensive lines this year, I'd put K-State's up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd put Kansas State's up there.
Gotta put Michigan's up there.
Michigan's is there. I think Ohio State's is too. They're really good. Florida State traditionally has been good. I know they're not great this year, but Oregon and UCLA and for sure Georgia. I mean, Georgia, they're all right there. And those guys, when push comes to shove, though, and I was watching the K-State game, in the big game, and they got stuffed a couple of different times by TCU, and they did so on 3rd and short or 4th and short. Even as good as the O-lines are in college football, it's still not an automatic, okay? And you've got to have that second threat. And if you have that second threat, i.e. the dual threat part, I think it is so huge for your offense having to defend 11. But the key is finding that 11th man, that quarterback that can stay healthy. Because more times than not, you'll see someone take over a ball game, light somebody up, and then they get smoked running the ball. Or for some of the quarterbacks that try and hang in the pocket, they get dinged in the pocket. Jalen Hurts, sprained shoulder, right? You know how good he is running the ball. Man, you just hope, and even look at Chicago.
Justin Fields.
With Fields and their quarterback, what they've been able to do. But is that a long term? Even Kaepernick. Kaepernick was great under Harbaugh, and then he ripped his knee up. He's trying to stay in the pocket versus rolling him out. Right?
I mean, look at the running quarterbacks in the NFL this year alone, and count how many are
I
healthy
would count
at the moment.
Mahomes as that. I know he's pass first, but he's mobile enough to stay alive, avoid
you
hits.
could argue everyone in the NFL, once you make it that far, has to be good enough passing that you can call them pass first. I mean, even Lamar Jackson, who's probably the best threat running the football.
Lamar's
in the
run
quarterback
first.
position.
I will die on that hill that Lamar's run first.
He's not bad throwing.
No, he's
the
a
ball.
great.
He hasn't had good
an
targets.
he's an MVP. I'm not saying he's not a good thrower. I'm saying he is most dangerous. You'd take him throwing against you versus running against you.
I guess. But look at those that mold of quarterbacks. I mean, Josh Allen's probably the only healthy one right now because Jalen Hurts looks like he's going to miss one. Kyler Murray's out. He's a running guy. Lamar Jackson's out hurt. He's a running guy. So I do understand Nebraska here going to the portal and maybe trying to find
multiple
quarterbacks. Exactly. I think that's something I talked about last week. The fact is that Nebraska hasn't had a season in a long, long time where the starting quarterback for week 1 has started all 12 games. I couldn't even tell you what year that was when that last happened. So
who did last?
We discussed this last week.
Probably Taylor. It's probably Taylor who made it.
I think it was his freshman year, Taylor.
20. Well, and he was out one game though, wasn't he?
I thought that was his sophomore year.
Taylor 2010. He missed some time against A&M, the infamous sideline down at A&M, right? Because he got dinged.
Well, that was an injury issue.
He missed a game after A&M, I think, because I think Cody Green started against Colorado the week after Texas A&M. Yeah.
I guess the heart of this issue is it's been so long since we've had a quarterback play all 12 games. And that's kind of the side effect when you have a rushing quarterback. It's not like this is just a college football issue. I just kind of laid it out. Your NFL quarterbacks that like to run the football, they tend to get hurt too. Even Josh Allen had that elbow issue from, that wasn't a running play where he got hurt on that, but it's kind of affected his game throughout the year where now he's got to slide, and it's always been Josh Allen putting his shoulder down and trying to truck a linebacker. He's got to slide now. It changes how he plays the game of football, and that's part of the conversation here. But
he's so dangerous. This is fun though. This is fun seeing the scrambling, hurt you with your feet type quarterback in the NFL.
And I would argue that Casey Thompson could be that. I think he's athletic enough to try and do that. We saw that bits and pieces this year. You saw it in the final game of the year against Iowa and against Wisconsin as well. You saw him being willing to use his feet to beat the defense. But it's, again, as we said last segment, it's not what he wants to do. It's not his strength necessarily where he considers himself a throwing quarterback. And I think that was Mark Whipple's offense as well, as we want you to air the ball out. And maybe in a rural Satterfield type offense, Casey will want to use his legs more, but I'd venture to say that's not the case. And now when I look at Sims coming in, potentially Hornsby coming in, I just wonder what that means for Casey Thompson. I don't think you bring in 2 transfer portal quarterbacks if it ends up being 2, if you think you have your starter next season. That's what I'll say.
Well, you're just covering your backside. That's what you're doing. You may have Casey. Casey may want to stay. Casey may want to play for Matt Rule. Casey's going to have to go win the job, be willing to and good at doing what they ask, and then stay healthy. And if he doesn't stay healthy, once he's won the job, then it's Sims's gig or Harburg, or pick a guy that's one of the now expanded quarterback room. You're going to have some defections from there. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah, they're not going to finish spring ball with 7 could be the number.
No, they won't.
That's not going to happen.
But Mitch Sherman, he'll be with us tomorrow. He laid out some thoughts, his story on Dylan Raiola, and just what a game changer can do. And this is how it's gone for Nebraska. Your point about the quarterbacks. Before they blew out the staff in 2014, they had Lamar Jackson coming to them. They had a chance twice to get Joe Burrow. They didn't. They being whoever was on staff. Duggan is going off to the NFL, but first he's going to try and bring some hardware. He's just down the road from Council Bluffs. Think of those 3 names that could have or were in the mix to be in Lincoln at one point in the last 10 years. Lamar, Burrow, and Duggan. Adrian was good. Adrian didn't have help. Adrian still didn't stay healthy at K-State. We'll see if he can go out his college career with a win over Bama. That'd be pretty cool for him. But Nebraska's had a couple of quarterbacks, and then it's been just a revolving offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator. It'd be funny to see history change or what history would have turned into with one of these three quarterbacks we laid out. If you could have got Lamar, or how close was Nebraska with Tommy Armstrong? Because he was a really good quarterback, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't perfect, but I thought he was a really good quarterback. Same with T-Magic and Adrian. So but those are three names. I mean, those are three monster names that you just didn't end up getting to Lincoln because of coaching changes.
And here's the thing: whenever you talk about those three names, there were some highly recruited kids in there, but based on recruiting rankings, and we did our whole thing last week on our thoughts on recruiting rankings. Simply put, when you look at the number one player in the country, the recruiting services don't tend to get that wrong. You can maybe one guy over the past 10 years.
What does the number one guy turn out to be?
That's what I'm saying. Is the number one guy in the country. That's so much better than these Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Max Duggan, all those names. Nebraska could have had. Raiola's bigger than all those.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
More important than all those. And like I could go back and look at the last 10 years of number one recruits. They tend to work out pretty well, and they tend to end up being first or second round picks in the NFL. Not all of them end up being the best player out of the class, but you don't get many, if any, lemons from a number one player in the country. That's what type of player we're talking about here with Raiola.
Your top 100 are going to play pro football.
And your number one guy in the country is arguably the guy who's had the most eyes on him all year long. Everyone watches the number one player in the country, from recruiting to fans to coaches to anyone. They don't miss on those top guys very often. Raiola, I don't think you can understate how huge of a pickup that would be for Nebraska. And based on what I saw this weekend, I don't think it's crazy to think Nebraska is in the driver's seat. I'm not saying
flips your program.
It could be a program flipper. And I'm not saying that I think Raiola is coming to Lincoln, but I think it's in play. And I think that's evidenced by the fact that Raiola is tweeting out the Undertaker saying, "Oh, we're back in this."
Completely. Now, back to the one of three doors: family, Heisman's, championships. and all three are pretty good. If you're a guy like Raiola, but no, he's pretty important. We'll see if Nebraska can do enough to impress on the field to stay in this race beyond. But Coach Bull is going to be done with the recruitment. This mistake, or they pay for it. It is presented by Currency.
Continental Conditech has dug in. New starting wages for production workers are $24.11 an hour, which grows to $28.37 an hour within 3 years. Some positions start at $25.81 and grow to $30.37. Plus, new hires receive a $3,000 bonus, increased 401k contributions, great benefits, and vacation time. Continental is paying top wages to career-minded people. Put your future in motion. Apply now at Continental-Jobs or Lincoln.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to play food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take one each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 4 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent, not for immediate relief.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got free Samsung A23 5G phone.
Why do you think they call it the Galaxy?
Maybe because the Samsung Galaxy A23 has a huge, and galaxies are huge gravitationally bound systems of stars rotating around a supermassive black hole.
And the phone is free?
When you switch to Boost Mobile.
Cool. You lost me at gravitationally bound.
Switch to Boost to get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. Limited time offer while supplies last. New customer excludes tax. One device offer per lot. Only available. 5G not available everywhere. Additional strict locks. See local Boost details.
Hello. He's coming up. So two slice Coors Light 24-ounce cans, 2 for $4.50, or Coors Light 6-packs, $6.99. Here's another great deal. Get Keystone Light 24-ounce cans, 2 for $2.79, and Super Seas your seltzers. White Claw, Truly, work whatever makes you. All for us for the same low price. They're always happy to see you.
CSX Transportation is an industry leader
Join the CSX team and paid on the job training today. If you're safety focused with a passion for great service, you've got what it takes to move your career forward at CSX. Apply at csx.com/careers. CSX is the employer.
Nobody from like Allstate. I'm your friend's luxury, and I'm stanking up the backseat. And if you have coverage insurance, you're going to be all that out. Save $44 and get protected from mayhem like me.
Average annual savings of new customers surveyed in 2021 who reported auto savings when switching to Allstate. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Hit some NFL and some college basketball here. Plenty of recruiting today. Good stuff from Charlie McBride and good stuff from Brady Oltmans with us. Schmidt, Elijah Herbel. It's Hail Varsity. And we'll start with hoops. And tough one for Nebraska after what was promising with their upset win over Creighton. They have dropped 3 straight against Power 5 programs, and it was in contention and a draining loss to had week to shake that off. And then you head down to the Sprint Center, and it was a good weekend for Nebraska against Kansas State. Nebraska, Elijah, really got away from themselves. Now, you had a couple of guys step up that had been struggling, but you have continued struggles by Wiltshire. You had Griesel he had an off night, and we'll hear from Fred here in a moment, but Nebraska really just wasn't locked in, or I should say committed for the full 40 minutes on what's gotten them to this point, and that's being in it till the end. They weren't as tough, they weren't as physical, and they just weren't as committed to having to make it a rock fight. And K-State is very athletic and talented, and they got out-hustled for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and the defense of Kansas State was what left me feeling impressed. It was a case of Nebraska being forced into putting up shots I don't think they wanted to put up by that K-State defense. I don't think that they were getting the types of looks that they were getting against a Purdue or against a Creighton, which are better teams than Kansas State, and it's early in the year, so I don't want to poo-poo all over K-State too much, but Kansas State's going to be a very good basketball team, and they could be a team that could make the NCAA tournament. I don't claim to be a basketball expert, but I walked away Saturday feeling impressed with what they showed, and it was on their defensive end. The Husker defense wasn't great all game long. Kansas State, I don't want to say did what they wanted to offensively, but they definitely had a better offensive game plan than Nebraska did, and Nebraska felt like settled for a lot of three-point looks that weren't what has been making their hay all season.
4 for 21. About the time you're about 3 for 19, stop shooting. We're getting some feedback here from Justin, from Matt, as far as our feed. A little bit choppy and chirpy. Do we need to feed the hamster again in the other room? Would your guess be internet? We're going to just...
My guess would be like, I'm not sure, maybe I need to go hit the router with the old turn it off and back on again type thing. That's about the extent of my IT knowledge.
The velvet hammer?
The velvet, I mean... am I allowed to break the glass? Is it an emergency where I can go break the glass in the velvet hammer?
I won't rat it up is what I'm going to say. But Nebraska shot 32%, 19% from 3-point land. Just wasn't a good outing. And the box score screams yuck. Bandamel 2 for 10. Gary 3 for 9. Walker, I know he was plagued with foul trouble, really never got in rhythm. 1 for 5. Wiltshire 1 for 7. Wiltshire's 1 for 13 in his last 2 games because he was not what he needs to be the other night against Purdue. Griesel was 2 for 4, but only took 4 shots, spent the last 7 minutes on the bench. Now Wilhelm, 5 and 9 was good. Lawrence was really nice, but you need better from Tominaga, 1 for 8. And some of the shots taken by Bandamel, by Wiltshire, by Tominaga. That was uncharacteristic of how careful they'd been with their shots. They'd worked the offense for the most part against some of these Power 5 teams.
Impatience is how I felt, at least in the second half. I think Kansas State frustrated them defensively in the first half. I think Nebraska came out in the second half and just tried to force the issue, press a little bit too much, throw up some ill-advised shots, and that's going to happen in the course of a basketball season, and especially with this current Husker basketball team, how it's constructed now on a night where they get behind 10, 15 points. I don't think they're built to come back from that type of lead against a team. And we saw it once on the home floor against Purdue. It didn't ever reach 15 points that game, but we did see some fight from them there. But as soon as you were down, I think it was 14 at half against Kansas State, I had that sinking feeling of, well, Nebraska is not built to overcome a deficit like this in the second half. So it's the way it goes. And it's been a tale of, so far this Husker basketball season, playing within the borders of the state of Nebraska and playing outside the borders of the state of Nebraska. It's almost looked like two different teams depending on where they're playing at.
Let's hear a little bit from Fred and kind of recapping and resetting their ball game against the University of Queens tomorrow. And whenever I think of Queens, I think of Coming to America, the movie. And I don't know if that's available or not, but Nebraska is going to need to get their stroke back from downtown, or at least get to the rim. But Fred, recapping Saturday and the look ahead.
I know we're coming off a very disappointing game against Kansas State after a great week. And, this game has a way of humbling you real quick. And, I think after beating Creighton and having a chance to beat what is now the number one team in the country in back-to-back games, and then went down and did not play well, obviously, in Kansas City in a neutral site game down there. So, just got to find a way to bounce back, get that energy back, do the little things that have allowed us to have some success this season, get our identity back on that end of the floor.
So that'll be key. More from Fred with his presser today.
Get the opportunity to go out for us and play a very good team that that has a lot of talent. They shoot the heck out of the ball. They make over 9 threes a game. The thing that I've been really impressed with is their relentlessness on the glass. They're one of the top teams in the country in offensive rebound percentage. Pretty close actually to Purdue. Purdue got, I think, 39% of their misses. This team gets 36% of its misses back. And, their player Raines gets over 4 offensive rebounds a game. So it's going to be a challenge. And, again, need hopefully have good support there and finish off the non-conference schedule well.
Fred touches on some of the guys that have stepped up the last couple of games and guys that you're waiting on. Wilhelm specifically did pretty well.
I thought he and Wilhelm both had really good games for us and big confidence boosters, I think, for both those guys. Jamarcus in particular, he's been practicing well and really is on the floor because of his defense. And when you have a guy that can pick up the ball, that allows Emmanuel to use his versatility maybe on one of the other players. Jamarcus, it was good to see him make shots because that's really what he is. That's one of the things we loved about him, but he's really picked things up defensively. He gave us a boost, I thought, on both ends the other night, hitting that big 3 late in the game, did a great job running down the floor, getting to the corner, which we didn't do that all night long, and hit a shot to cut the lead to 7. And, that's pretty big for a freshman in that type of environment to play with that kind of confidence. So it is, when you see that ball go in the basket, that does wonders for your confidence. So he and Wilhelm hopefully build off what they did in Kansas City, play well tomorrow, and then hopefully carry that on for the rest of the year.
Mississippi State's in town. They're ranked 16th in the country against Drake. I mean, it's pretty cool down at the Vault. The Vault Classic going to be happening, and that's a 4 o'clock start at -5 for those of you that may go across the river.
And we'll see. Well, Huskers on the home floor playing within the state of Nebraska, as I just said. I think it means good things. I think they need a little energy from the crowd to keep that defensive intensity going all game long like they've been showing this season.
Well, we'll see, right? And we'll wind down some NFL action. What a wild weekend. Elijah's still pouring drinks because his Broncos won. At one time, Miami Dolphins played their butts off in frigid conditions. And a lot in between if you're a Chiefs fan. Hail Varsity winds it down.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Anyone who has ever needed self-storage knows what a hassle it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use Closet Box instead? Closet Box is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. Closet Box's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. Closet Box's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. Closet Box has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The next generation of ED wave therapy is now at Limitless Male. Limitless pulse-focused wave therapy has clinically proven results for men wanting to improve their relationships. ED can be caused by age, heart disease, diabetes, or medication, and it won't get better on its own. Our new non-surgical wave therapy can help stop and potentially reverse damage. Take the ED quiz at limitlessmale.com. Get help from the men's health experts.
As utility costs rise, now is the time to replace your old system. Call Wellman Heating and Air Conditioning to learn how an efficient Carrier home comfort system can save you money on utilities over the life of the equipment. And ask Wellman about Carrier equipment that can clean the air in your home. Don't hesitate. Supplies may be limited. Financing is available. Carrier offers and rebates will vary. See Wellman for details. Turn to the experts. Wellman Heating and Air, your factory authorized dealer for Carrier products at wellmanheating.com.
I'm weatherology meteorologist Laura Lockwood with your Capital City forecast. A winter storm watch is in effect Wednesday afternoon through Friday evening. A wind chill warning is in effect Thursday morning through Saturday morning. That's the forecast on Lincoln's ESPN. Right now, 19.
Get your sports fix here. ESPN Lincoln is on the air at 101.5 FM and 1480 AM. Online at espnlincoln.com. It's us.
Come here, brother. Give me a hug. Bring it in for the...
We're on call for you. Catch the podcast at hailvarsity.com, the ESPN Lincoln app, or download them on iTunes.
Saddle up, partner.
Back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time. Good stuff today. Charlie McBride and Brady Oltmans. Thanks for your time hanging out. Podcast can find us Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Hail Varsity Radio, and always on the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Can subscribe to it. Do so to the magazine and website as well, hailvarsity.com/subscribe. GBR is the code you can punch in. Save some money. Be sure to catch Coffee and Cream Manana tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 with Damon and Andrew. Can watch those on the YouTube channel and also on the Hail Varsity Twitter handle at HVarsity Radio. Elijah, without further ado, let's make Patriot fans cry one more time.
3 seconds to go. It's a handoff. Stevenson up the middle. Breaks one tackle at the 50 to the 45. 40. Stiff arm. He's free at the 35. Drops it behind him to Jacoby Myers, who circles and laterals it. And it's intercepted by the Raiders. Going the other way. Down the sideline at the 20-yard line. To the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vegas. What a wild finish.
Yeah, Kesty. What a wild finish. I got it. The pick six the other way.
pick six. Is it a scoop and score? I'm not sure what it goes down in the
To
stat
me, it was
book.
a pick six.
But it's on a backwards pass. It's on a lateral.
I know.
Is
It was 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage to the slowest guy on the field.
Well, hey, I will give props to Mac Jones for attempting to tackle
I
Chandler
know.
Jones. That's more than I would try
But
to
here's
do.
the thing. You've got Chandler versus Mack. Didn't it look like Sue trying to get tackled by Hawkins' kid?
Mm-hmm.
Like where it was, all you're missing is a curb and teeth.
Oh, it was an unfair battle,
right?
I'll give props to Mac for attempting to make a tackle.
And then he got planted. Jacksonville, the way they finished. I was watching that thing and I'm like, son of a Jacksonville's on, but they're hot. Sunshine's been throwing well. 14 touchdowns, 1 pick in his last several games. They got the pick 6. I have not brought it up to Uncle Andy yet.
Shotgun for Prescott. He drops to throw. Looking, fires middle of the field, and that ball is picked off. It is picked off by Rayshawn Jenkins. He's running it back along the right sideline. That is going to be a touchdown. The Jags are going to win it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, good for him. Minnesota's comeback was nuts. That was incredible. And then, of course, Mitch Holthus. Best there is, man. Mitch is incredible. Walk-off win. Chiefs have had 5 of these things.
Mahomes hands it off to McKinnon, trying to dart left, 20 downfield, 10, 5, touchdown! Kansas City! Terrific run by Jerick McKinnon to win the game in overtime on a 26-yard run. And the Kansas City Chiefs have won the AFC West for a 7th consecutive year.
We may have to do this here. The last 5 minutes of every show on Monday, the Sound Sunday. Do you like that?
I do like that, actually.
Yeah, Sounds of Sunday. But, dude, Mitch Holthus, I mean, he is so passionate, but yet there was no control, but it wasn't crazy. Eddie Markowski tomorrow, Mitch Sherman tomorrow, maybe a future NFL tight end.
Maybe me lamenting advancing to the next round of the losers bracket in my fantasy football league over the weekend.
I didn't say it.
This is Jim.